deserve this. And so they're just taking lives that shouldn't have been taken.
A heartbreaking story of two cousins, two young lives cut short during a bike ride, leaving their families full of grief and pain. It's a call no parent ever wants to get. A call from police saying your child has just been shot. That's what happened to these two Saginaw mothers who are sisters. Good evening, I'm Dave Bondi. Stella Daskalakis has the night off. Mid-Michigan Now's Courtney Bennett talked with them tonight. Courtney, what can you tell us?
Dave, it was March 4th, just after 11:30, both mothers received that terrible call. 17-year-old Quay and 20-year-old Quan shot while riding their bikes on a Saginaw road. The Thomas sisters devastated by the loss of their only sons. Travonda Thomas says she did not know her son Quan left the house with his cousin that night on March 4th. They were riding bikes, according to Michigan State Police, on Duran Street in Saginaw.
And I get a call at midnight that my son had been shot. And I was like, no, he's in the basement asleep. And so then I went downstairs and he wasn't there.
Shatara Thomas also getting that same call about her son Quay. For days, the boys fought for their lives in the hospital. Then on March 7th, they were declared brain dead.
When the nurse came in, after they had told me that, he wasn't doing good, he said, but he is going to save a whole lot of lives. And I kind of looked at him, kind of funny, like, what do you mean? And he was like, he was an organ donor. And I just cried because, you
had no idea. Both of them organ donors, something their mothers did not know. Inspired by Travonda's father, who received a kidney from an organ donor, she says she left it up to her kids to decide if they wanted to be donors.
And I guess that's what's giving me so much peace, is because I know that they are still living. That they still are living on. It's not like when they shut off all the machines that all of their stuff just stopped. It didn't. It's still living on. And it's giving someone else a chance to live as well.
A chance at a second life for the people Quan and Quay helped.
Both of the boys saved a total of 12 lives. In about probably a year or so, we'll be able to write to those and find out, and see if they want to meet us. And then we'll still be able to meet our boys again.
Michigan State Police say they are still investigating the shooting. Right now, they tell me that no one is in custody. Both Travonda and Shatara have fundraisers set up to pay for funeral expenses. You can find those links on our website, MidMichiganNow.com.
It's Family Medicine Week in Michigan, and healthcare experts are warning about an impending crisis when it comes to family health care. Our political reporter, Rachel Louise Joss, kicks off the week with one of the biggest concerns industry leaders have, a shortage of family doctors in our state.
Picture this. You wake up in the morning and you're not feeling so good. Not so bad that you need to go to the hospital, but you do need to go to a doctor. The only thing is, you don't have a doctor. That's what 1 in 5 Michigan adults is facing right now, according to the National Primary Care Scorecard. In Michigan, experts say there's just not enough primary care physicians to go around.
I'm one of the old guys. I've been practicing for 40 years. Eventually I'm going to retire. Somebody needs to replace me.
And we're not just short by dozens, but hundreds. Michigan is short around 640 primary care physicians, according to health policy think tank Robert Graham Center.
And that's just to maintain the status quo. As many of our family physicians age and retire and our population ages, the need for primary care will be even greater.
Rural areas can have an even harder time getting care, data shows.
If the primary care shortage is not addressed and addressed quickly, all of these problems will get worse in our state.
And when it gets to the point you do need to go to a hospital in Michigan, there's a huge number of patients who could have avoided that situation if they had a doctor. According to the 2020 Michigan Primary Care Needs Assessment, the state had a preventable hospitalization rate of 22.8%, more than twice the national average of 10.1%.
The bulk of healthcare spending is spent on costlier healthcare hospitalizations.
The problem won't be easy or quick to fix.
there aren't any really short-term solutions for getting more family docs necessarily.
Physicians have to go through years of school and training, so experts say things like student loan repayments can be beneficial.
That's a budget item that the legislator in Michigan enacts every year. If they're able to increase that up, that would help.
Jeff, thank you. And in your morning headlines now, 2 state lawmakers from Buren County announced their opposition to a controversial power line project in the work at Consumers Energy. Now, Republicans Eric Nesbitt and Pauline Wenzel say their offices have been flooded by concerns from people who own property that would be affected in some way by the project's current design. Consumers Energy wants to build 20 miles of new electric lines between Matawan and Lawrence. Property owners are upset because of how close the lines are to their homes. Now, in one case, the current design would run straight through one homeowner's property, forcing him to tear down a veterans memorial built in front of his yard. Now, others worry about all of the trees that would be cut down and impact it'll have on the wildlife. Consumers told us last month it's part of the company's effort to deliver more reliable electricity to Van Buren County, and the company is trying to follow existing power lines as much as possible.
All throughout our history, we have made it a commitment to do right by the communities that we serve. And that, and that means also taking care of the environment.
Now, in a joint statement, Nesbitt and Wenzel saying, quote, "We urge Consumers Energy to seriously consider a less intrusive route for this project, and we hope they will cooperate with the community to find a solution that respects the rights of property owners and those potentially affected by this project." Consumers hopes to start construction in 2025.